Welcome to the #1 source for information, news, and opinion on your Columbus Blue Jackets. This is CBJin30, presented by Telhio Credit Union. You can also find the audio version on the CBJ Radio SoundCloud page, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Spotify, Google Play Music, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Now here's your host, Bob McElligott.
Well, that was fun last night, wasn't it? The Blue Jackets playing the fourth longest game in National Hockey League history. They played over 150 minutes last night. They played into a fifth overtime after the Tampa Bay Lightning tied the Blue Jackets 2-2 in the first minute of the third period. And then the Blue Jackets lost in the fifth overtime. Final score in the game was 3-2. Welcome to CBJin30, presented by Telhio Credit Union. Boy, I tell you, I'm still I feel like we're still playing the game, actually. That's how long it was. I didn't think it was ever going to end. It did, and it didn't end the way the Blue Jackets wanted it to last night. But, man, it sure wasn't for a lack of trying, was it? It sure wasn't. Speaking of trying, over at Telhio Credit Union, they don't try to put their customers first and above everything else. They just do it. They put people over profits. It's something they've done since all the way back in 1934, and they can do it for you. They will do it for you in a heartbeat. All you have to do is find out what services they have, how those services might benefit you, and the way you do that is by going to their website, telhio.org. Why just settle for a normal bank when you can have a credit union that puts you first? Telhio Credit Union. Check them out at telhio.org. So, again, the Blue Jackets last night, it was a great game with the Tampa Bay Lightning. It was a great game, and it was only the first game in a best-of-7 series. There are at least 3 more games, and probably more, between these two teams. You know, yesterday I talked about, where do the Blue Jackets really fit here? They just played a 5-game series against Toronto. These are different teams from last spring, when the two teams played and the Blue Jackets swept the Lightning. The Lightning made some improvements. They got some grit in their lineup. The Blue Jackets lost some offense. But even when it was all said and done, they were just back and forth, toe-to-toe. And it was so, so fun to watch last night. Again, the only thing I hated was the ending. I just hated the ending. I loved every bit of it until the very end. That part stunk. But up until that part, it was great. Let's go through the scoring recap, or the game recap, which the scoring is part of it. But the game recap is being brought to you by Stanley Steamer. Get back to clean. Blue Jackets got the first goal in last night's game, and oh my goodness, it came on the power play. This is a team that went 0 in the series against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Didn't get a single goal in that series on the power play, but they got their first goal last night on the power play. Alexander Texier took the shot. I initially thought that he put it in, but upon further review, as they say, Pierre-Luc Dubois was posted up to the side of the net. He was coming in front. The puck hit him in the glove, and it went in. It was Dubois' goal, his 4th goal of the playoffs that made it a 1-0 game. And then the Tampa Bay Lightning would come back, and they would tie the game against the Blue Jackets. They would make it a 2-2 game. I'm sorry, I'm ahead of myself, for crying out loud. They would make it a 1-1 game. That's better. That's much better. And so the Blue Jackets were looking to get back on top, and they did that in the final minute of the second period when Oliver Bjorkstrand took an insane shot from the right wing boards, and he put it up over the shoulder of Andrei Vasilevsky, above the shoulder and beneath the crossbar, and the Blue Jackets had a 2-1 lead. That only lasted 37 seconds into, or was it 23 seconds into the third period? Whatever. First minute of the third period, Yanni Gourde, in a scramble, watched Korpisalo, who thought he had pounced on top of the puck and it had actually slid out, and he didn't know it. He watched Korpi kick it into the net, and that counted. And it was a 2-2 game. And again, that's how it stayed forever. We started the game at 3:10 in the afternoon. We finished at 9:10 at night. Okay? It was that long. But it was that fun. But it wasn't that fun when Braden Point got his second of the game and roofed it, put it right underneath the crossbar and over the shoulder of Korpisalo. And that set the final score at 3-2. Some great notes from that game, though, last night. Korpisalo just set a new record. He had 85 saves. Are you hearing me? He had 85 saves in the game. Ridiculous. Shattering an NHL record. Most saves in a game since shots on goal started being recorded in 1955-56. 85 shots in the game for Joonas Korpisalo. And I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it. Well, first, I knew there was more to this. I was looking for this note. Okay. So the record that Korpisalo breaks, he stopped 85 of 88. Okay. Previous to that, Kelly Rudy had 73 saves on 75 shots for the New York Islanders in a 3-2 overtime win over the Capitals in April of 1987. And Sergei Bobrovsky had a team record of 54 saves at Washington on April 15th of 2018. That was also an overtime win game. But 85. So this is what I was going to say. I'm going to say it once, then I'm going to let it go. Maybe. But I'm going to say it once. Look, you know from listening to me, you know that Joonas Korpisalo was the guy that I was backing to start in the playoffs. I was backing for him to start in the regular season. I was backing for him to start in the playoffs. And I've told you this before, and I'll tell you again because some of you still don't believe me. This is not a knock on Elvis Merzlikins. This is how much I respect and like not only the person, but the job that the person does, that person being Joonas Korpisalo. So even back at the beginning of this resumption of play, when Korpisalo was named the starter in Game 1 against Toronto, and some people were like, really? I'm shocked. I can't believe it. And he went out and he posted a shutout. And then when he gets taken out in that series, and he's taken out just to try to spark the team, but he doesn't get back in there. Then there are some that are like, yeah, okay, well, this makes sense. And then he comes back into that series and he pitches another shutout. And then he does this. Here is my what I'm saying. I'm being very long-winded about this, okay? But you can like both goalies. There doesn't have to be an either or here with these guys, okay? And right now, Elvis is on the shelf. He wasn't even backing up last night. Matisse Kivlenieks was dressed as the backup again for the Blue Jackets. But it's a both thing. But if you're in the Elvis camp, and again, you're allowed to be. It's okay. But I hope you're sharing camps, okay? Because throughout the entire year, I've gone back and forth with people that I feel are in the Elvis camp. This is not politics, okay? It's not you're either this or you're this. It's a this. It's, let's put it, it's everyone as one, okay? But if you still have any reservations about Joonas Korpisalo being the starter for this team, they had all better have left your mind after watching what that guy did last night. He is legit. He is an NHL goalie and an NHL starter, this guy. Will he have some bad goals along the way from here on out? Probably. They all do. I don't care who they are. They all do. But, man, what that guy did last night was unbelievable. Unbelievable. What else in that game last night? Seth Jones, single game team record and NHL record for minutes played in a single game. Dallas's Sergei Zubov had 63 minutes and 51 seconds played in April of 2003 against Anaheim. And Seth Jones did him better. 65 minutes and 6 seconds. 65 minutes. And the Zubov record was almost broken by Zach Werenski, who had 61 minutes in the game. Crazy. Just absolutely crazy. Alexander Texier got an assist on that first goal. I told you that. He's tied for the team lead, picking up his third assist of the postseason. Dean Kukin got his first career Stanley Cup playoff assist, as he got the second assist on Oliver Bjorkstrand's goal late in the second period. Bjorkstrand's first of the postseason. What else do I got for you? Pierre-Luc Dubois, 1 goal, 1 assist. That is his 4th multi-point game of his playoff career, and the second one here in these playoffs, because he had a hat trick, of course, in Game 3 against Toronto. He has 8 career playoff goals, by the way, and that trails only Cam Atkinson for the most in franchise history. So these guys are rolling. A lot of good things came out of last night's game. Again, the only thing is they didn't win. They didn't win, and that stinks. I think they needed to win. I think it wasn't imperative that they win the game. They needed to win. I watched Tampa when that game was over, and I watched how they were so exuberant. Now, look, they played 6 hours. And they got to win, so you're going to be happy. But I think part of that was they were so excited they finally beat the Blue Jackets in the playoffs. I want you to think about what I just said. The Tampa Bay Lightning, a team that is constructed with great offensive weapons, a really good goalie, their defense is better than most. They were just happy to beat the Columbus Blue Jackets. Think about that. That's respect. That's respect. Because last year they were humiliated, embarrassed, and sent home. And had they lost that game last night, the Blue Jackets would have won 5 in a row in the playoffs against them. How do you think they would feel about that? I would say they wouldn't feel too good about it at all. At all. They felt good when it was over. And they deserved to feel good when it was over. And the Blue Jackets felt tired. Very tired. I do fear, I'm not going to lie to you, I do fear where this goes now, because the Blue Jackets just played, they just play 5 games in however many days it was. When did we start this thing, for crying out loud? What day did we start? I can't even remember what day we started against Toronto. What day was that? It was no, not a Friday. I don't know. It doesn't matter. They played a lot of games in a short period of time, and last night they played the equivalent of like 3 games at one time. So they've played a lot. They are more tired. The games the Blue Jackets have played the entire time they've been in Toronto have been playoff games. The Tampa Bay Lightning played round-robin games. They didn't have to play as hard, right? Theirs was just all margin for error. Because if they lost, they could have lost all 3, and it wouldn't have meant anything. If the Blue Jackets lost 3, they'd be gone. So I do worry about the fatigue factor the rest of the way. John Tortorella will downplay the heck out of that. So will his players. But I do fear about it. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. We'll wait and see what it looks like on Thursday at 3 o'clock for Game 2 of this series. Officiating. I'm going to tell you before, and I'm going to run some of the post-game sound here. But there's the Victor Hedman non-call on Cam Atkinson, and it's, I see why they didn't call it. I don't know why they blew the whistle. Atkinson went into the net. The net popped up. It didn't come all the way off the moorings. Did I feel that he grabbed a hold of him? Not really. I thought he hit him, and he was carrying the puck. So by that definition, you're allowed to hit him. It would have been nice had it been a power play. Oh, my God, what if it was a penalty shot with Cam Atkinson? That would have been terrific. But it wasn't. There were some other things in that game that, again, my expectations of officiating are so low that I guess maybe I don't get as fazed as much as I used to. Maybe there are some games I'm not as fazed as other games. I think in the overtime, Nick Foligno had a high sticking penalty, and Dean Kukin shot the puck over the glass, and that's a delay of game. That's a no-brainer, no question. But that being said, the players play the game, and the players had a little bit of a different view on that. So let me give you some of the post-game sound from last night, And let's listen in on this first duo taking questions from the media, Seth Jones and Pierre-Luc Dubois.
We'll start with Brian, Columbus Dispatch.
Hey guys, Seth, I guess we'll start with you. You played an NHL record number of minutes tonight. Just how are you doing physically after that? Is it more tough physically or mentally, I guess?
I feel fine. A lot of minutes, obviously, but I thought I stayed with it and obviously try to stay hydrated through the whole thing and just work through it. So it's a little bit, obviously your legs get tired, but it's mental when you get to find a way to battle through it.
Next question, Aaron Portzline, The Athletic.
Yeah, Pierre-Luc, have you ever been part of anything that even comes close to this? What were you guys doing in between the intermissions to keep your energy, keep refreshed and able to go?
No, I've never been a part of a game this long. Between the periods, like Seth said, just staying hydrated, snacking. I mean, we only had one meal today, probably at 9 a.m., so trying to stay hydrated and get something in you and just get ready for the next period.
Next question, Dave Metzold.
Seth, I'm going to stay on the same theme. With each shift, as you go over the boards, what's the mentality as this gets into overtime 3, 4, 5 in terms of you obviously need to conserve energy, but also give everything you've got on each shift?
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it on the head. I mean, there's no conserving energy. We have to find a way to play with energy every shift. That's why we go through, the conditioning we go through in camp, and we put our bodies in a position so we can do things like this and take it to levels of this extreme. So everyone played a lot of minutes. I'm sure everyone on our team played a record amount of minutes, personal record, and obviously we'll take care of our bodies tomorrow and be ready for game 2.
We'll take a few more. Next, Sean Farrell.
Obviously a heartbreaking loss for you guys. Is there's some pride in there in the sense that you guys have had your series against Tampa Bay last year. Some people questioned, said it could have been a fluke. I mean, to play them that tough, to have a game like that for your opener.
Who do you want to add?
We're not comparing last year to this year or anything about last year. It's two different teams and 2 different series.
We'll take just a couple more. Joshua Cloak, The Athletic.
You guys, again, understanding it's a heartbreaking loss, but inquiring minds want to know, what are you eating? What are you drinking to stay hydrated and stay refreshed and ready to go between periods?
Water, Gatorade, some electrolyte packets, bananas, things like that, power bars. Anything you can kind of get your hands on that's not going to completely fill you up, but it's going to give you energy and going to give you some carbohydrates and potassium and sugar to kind of get you over the hump.
We'll take a final question from Luke Fox, Sportsnet.
Hi guys, just wondering what you thought of the officiating tonight, particularly the non-call on Hedman on Atkinson at the end there.
That's all you.
Well, we didn't really get an explanation. I would like them to come up here and give an explanation. I get a call, pretty much the same thing. I don't even know if mine's, even a call. But this is the exact same thing on Hedman, and officiating to me was, I don't know, it's kind of suspect all night. So we just want a clear explanation. We never got one.
Whoa. Seth Jones called the officiating suspect in the game. And he's allowed. He was playing in the game. He was out there. He knows exactly what it was. He was part of it. He does have a good point, though. He gets called for a penalty that was very similar. According to him, it's the exact same play as Victor Hedman. So he's got a beef, and he's absolutely right about that. Okay? So looking at it that way, from his point of view, I get it. Totally get it. I also get the fact that they were letting them play for the most part. Again, would all love to have a penalty shot there. Cam Atkinson didn't have a shot on goal in that game. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? I mean, is he fully healthy? And I asked that question because John Tortorella always says that when he is at his best, he is darting around. And I don't see him really darting around a lot. Now, with this pause that we went through, we talked about that the Blue Jackets get all of their players back, essentially, minus Josh Anderson. They're getting all their players back after big injuries. Seth Jones comes back, broken ankle. Oliver Bjorkstrand, broken ankle. Cam Atkinson had an ankle sprain. And look, I'm not a doctor. I'm not even going to pretend to be, but I've been around this sport and pro sports for a long time. I have friends that are trainers. I've talked to them about different things. Like an oblique muscle pull, which is, muscle in the rib cage. Devastating for baseball players and hockey players because of the way they have to turn their bodies to hit or shoot. And it's, there are other sports where it might not be so disabling. But in those two sports, it is. And I bring that up because I've also heard trainers talk about high ankle sprains as opposed to broken ankles. And again, I'm not a doctor. I don't know why. If you are, you're answering the question to yourself while I'm talking about it. And you're saying, why is this guy talking like a doctor? He's not a doctor. But anyway, the high ankle sprain is potentially worse than the break. So I don't know. And I'm not making excuses for Cam. I'm not. I mean, he's playing, and if he's not 100%, he's got to find a way to deal with the percentage he has. And I'm sure he would tell you the same thing. But, the Blue Jackets, they need him. They need him to put the puck in the net. And he didn't even get the puck on net last night. So it was just very surprising. I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying that I'm not convinced there's not something wrong. And, if there is, it's understandable because of injuries during the season. But anyway, I digress. Seth Jones did not like the officiating. He made that clear, and he has a right to say that. Now, how that come back, who knows? I mean, not come back like he's going to get in trouble, but is he apt to get any more penalties called on him throughout the course of the playoffs? I doubt it because Seth Jones hardly ever does anything that puts him into a position to get a penalty called against him. And I don't expect that to change. Not at all. Not at all. Okay, I told you Korpisalo had 85 saves. Let's listen to what he had to say after last night's game as he got paired up in his media availability with winger Oliver Bjorkstrand.
Corpy, I'm wondering, if Gavrikov took a puck, it looked like to the side of the head right before the winning goal. Was that a distraction? Were you looking at him thinking the play was going to be blown dead? Did that affect your response to this shot at all?
No.
Next question, Brian, the Columbus Dispatch.
Hey, Corpy, you make like 85 saves tonight. I mean, just how were you feeling out there physically? And, how much concentration did it take to just go that long in a game and keep stopping shots?
You just try to go save by save, not thinking too much and, just grinding through it. I think I felt pretty good throughout. Boys they were battling hard in front of me, so yeah, not too bad.
Next question, Dave Metzold.
Oliver, same question for you. Playing in a game like that, how do you keep yourself physically sharp? How do you keep yourself mentally sharp, not knowing how much longer it's going to last?
Well, you just try to keep your shifts short when you're out there, kind of be smart. I feel like both teams made it difficult for each other to get good chances. So, you just try to stick with it, but fortunately it didn't go our way today.
We'll take a few more. Sean Farrell.
Oliver, how can you describe how taxing that was to play that game? I mean, it's your fourth in 6 games, and you merely played 3 games today. Can
you say that again? It was a little low.
I said, how can you describe how taxing this game was? You guys have played so many games already, and now you nearly played 3 games tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely difficult, but we have a team that's in good conditioning, and, we were up for it. Obviously, we'd like to finish it off earlier, but, we're just going to keep going. And now we just have to be ready for next game, and, and I know we will be ready, so we just got to keep going.
We'll take 2 more from Brian and Aaron. We'll start with Brian.
Yeah, Oliver, you're 6 games into the playoffs right now, and 3 of those games have already been pretty much classics and 3 overtimes games that finishes. The last one was tough, obviously, against Toronto. Do you guys use that ability to come back from that one now to kind of just flush this and get ready for the next game?
It's playoffs hockey. You're going to lose games, and this was just a long OT game we lost, so it's no different. We just got to bounce back and be ready for next game, and we will. So it's all good.
And our last question from Aaron Portzline, The Athletic.
Brooke, I know you're disappointed to lose this game, but do you take any pride in the fact that you held that team, Tampa, obviously a lot of offensive skill, to 3 goals and almost 3 games of hockey? Does this feel like the series, even though you lost, is kind of being played your way?
Yeah, I mean, I just went out there, do me, put my best out there, and just try to contribute with the team out there. Obviously want to win this, but that was only 1 game, and looking for the next one.
I love how all those guys just downplay stuff like, well, you don't really have a choice. You can't really be tired. How about that's where they're talking about not eating? Like Pierre-Luc Dubois said, we ate 1 meal. It was 9 a.m. Yeah, you played at 3 p.m. I'm sure that's true. And then they're going around and they're trying to scrounge up whatever they can find. Snack bars, granola bars, whatever. I mean, gee whiz, I'll be honest with you. You know what? I was eating really healthy stuff. Actually, I did have some soft and chewy granola bars. I also had a really healthy bag of chips. I had about 4 coffees, a couple of Gatorades. Oh, yeah. I was rolling. I was feeling it. That's me, who's just sitting on his rear end talking. These guys are out there skating, getting hit, dishing out hits, the whole 9 yards. And they're just trying to get through. But it kind of cracks me up when the people in the media ask them about I know you're going to ask about fatigue in a game like that. It goes 5 overtimes, but what do you think they're going to say? They're going to say it's a willpower, and that John Tortorella has that in their brain. He lives for that. He makes them live for that. Not going to say anything different. Not going to. That's who they are. It's who they are. That's what they do. And I love Korpisalo sitting there. He was just as calm talking to the media as he was during the game. Like, stopped 85. Wish I could have stopped 86, 87, maybe all 88, but I didn't. You got to be like that to be a goalie, right? I mean, you can't get too high on a big game, and you can't get too low on a bad game. You just got to go back out there again. I mean, he's going to be tested again on Thursday. And he can stop 85 tonight. If he can't stop 5 on Thursday, no one's going to remember this at the moment. They're going to say, get him out of there and get somebody else in there for right now. But no, all those guys, all 4 of those guys they were great in the game. They really were. They were great in the game. And again, I thought it was so much fun to watch. I enjoyed every minute except the last shot. And I got to be honest. Jonas Korpisalo just got asked right there. Gavrikov gets hurt. Did that throw you off? Did you think play was going to stop was the question. When he got hit, I looked at Vladislav Gavrikov. That's who I was looking at. Because he got hit in the face, shoulder, face, whatever it was, he right away hunches over. And right away I'm thinking, oh, no. Can't lose that guy. Can't lose anybody. But can't lose that guy because this defensive pair of him and Savard are really clicking right now. Savard was busted open and bleeding all over his beard early in the game. He didn't care. He literally wiped it off and stayed in there and kept on pounding away. And then during the commercial breaks, they're like, not really stitching him up, but like, cleaning him up and all that stuff. And it was ridiculous. I mean, and Gavrikov plays the same way, but, he gets hit up high. Again, face, shoulder, still not sure. And it distracted me. I was watching him. And then all of a sudden the second shot was in the back of the net, and I was stunned because I didn't realize there was another shot taken right away because I was watching him. Now, Korpisalo would never say, oh, yeah, I was worried about that. I was watching him. And no, he won't say that. But if he told the truth right there, great. If it was a white lie, I get it because I was watching Gavrikov. I was worried about that guy. And, it's understandable if you were doing that. But it was still a great shot by Braden Point. It was still in an area where it's like almost impossible to get on that shot. It was a really good shot. It was a really well-placed shot. So say what you want, but it was. All right, one more guy to hear from. And he loves going in front of the media after losses, especially one that takes like 6 hours to lose. Blue Jackets head coach John Tortorella.
Questions for Coach. We'll start with Aaron Portzline.
And I'll tell you, don't ask me about the non-call.
John, I know you're obviously not pleased with the result, but the way that this game was played seemed to be played to your liking. When you mixed that and some of the individual performances you had tonight, Korpisalo, Jones, or many others, what's your message to a team after a game like this?
Get some rest and get ready to play the next game.
Next question, Brian Hedger.
John, you're only 6 games into the playoffs. 3 of them have been just kind of crazy like this, but you guys keep bouncing back. Is that basically what the guys fall back on right there? Is that, ability to rebound every time?
Yep.
We'll take a couple more. Next question, Dave Metzold.
John, I wonder if you could just comment, please, on the performance of Seth playing the types of minutes that he did tonight. We're used to him playing big minutes, obviously, but what he was able to do and what Cole was able to do in terms of setting a record with saves.
Seth Jones? Yeah. He's a horse. He could keep on playing if we're still going. Yeah, he is just relentless as far as how he plays. I'm not sure who else he was asking me about. What about Corpy?
Just his 85 saves.
Yeah, Corpy was fantastic.
We'll take 2 more. Next question, Sean Farrell. Please repeat your question and speak up. We cannot. We're going to move on to Aaron Portzline.
John, very few coaches have been through a game quite like this. How are you handling the intermissions? What are you telling the players to the intermission? Are you reminding them, as you often do, that they're not tired? How does the coach handle this?
Yeah, we go through our same stuff, Portsy, through the intermissions. I'm not going to talk to you about what we say and what we talk about. We talk about things we need to talk about to get ready for the next period.
Doesn't talk about the officiating. Good. Seth Jones is a horse. Yes. Korpisalo was great. Absolutely. Let's get through it answering the stuff that you have to answer. That's what John Tortorella just did right there. He's not happy. His team just gave everything they had and then a little bit more. And they've got nothing to show for it. They're down in this series 1-0 to none. That's disheartening. And he knows it. And his team is absolutely exhausted. And he knows it. And he feels for them. So, yeah, he didn't have a lot to say, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. I hope he has more to say to me on the next pregame interview, but we'll see. It depends. If he, he gets into that thing with Aaron Portzline, well, I'm not going to tell you what we talked about. Well, of course you're not. It's not in your nature. But I get it. It's fine. And that's his job. And his team knows that he has their backs. They know that. Beyond the shadow of a doubt. Remember, John Tortorella always tells me every year, and he hasn't told me this year, probably because I'm not there, but he tells me every single year when it comes to the playoffs, he says, you know what, we're against them all year, meaning the players. We're against them. Like, they're always trying to refine what they're doing. They're always butting heads, right? Because they need you to do it this way. They want you to do it this way. You have to be able to do this, whatever this is. That's all year during the regular season. And that's all to condition and build to the postseason. Remember the days back here when people couldn't even fathom that. Coach couldn't fathom it. Players couldn't fathom it. At times, the GM couldn't fathom it. When everything that this team does is geared toward winning in the playoffs. So as Tort says, we're against them during the regular season because they're instructing them. They're telling them, you've got to do this, you've got to do this, you got to do this. And then he always says when it gets to playoff time, now we're with them. Now we're together. And it sounds kind of funny because you think that in the most important games, maybe you have to do the most coaching. Not if you did it right during the season. Not if you did it right during the season. Then the teaching is over. Then you can be in the moment with the players. Unless you're Pierre-Luc Dubois in the third game of the Toronto series. But even at that incident, where did that go? They picked up the carpet. They swept it under. Because PL you see him getting screamed at one game, and the next game he's the star of the game, and he wins it in overtime. So again, the back and forth. We're with him. Even though it may have looked like he was against him at that moment, he was with him because he was trying to make him better, and he did. So just remember that with John Tortorella. He talks about this all the time. So when he gives those press conferences with the short answers, it's because he's with them and they're together and he's protecting them. And there's no need to go out and give a lot of words and a lot of big, long answers right now. It's game one. And you heard him yesterday on this show. And he talked for, 13 minutes? One series was over. He was all about talking about that Toronto series because it was over. But in the heat of the battle, are you going to get anything out of John Tortorella? Unlikely. Unlikely. But somehow I do it. Somehow. So the Blue Jackets lose 5 overtimes. I've never been a part of anything like that. My wife sent me a text and said, have you ever been on the air for that long? And in all the years I did baseball, I did a lot of extra inning games, but I doubt any lasted 6 hours. Now, I would be on the air doing double headers. In AAA, they were 7 innings. But if those went to extra innings, but still. And the only thing about baseball is there's no intermission, right? There would be a 90-second break or 1 minute break, whatever it was, in between half innings. So I didn't get to – I had a bigger break last night. But I've never done a hockey game that's been that many periods ever. Never. Double overtime was with the Blue Jackets. And maybe in the American Hockey League. See, those memories they're not fading. They're just more clouded. I don't remember them in every detail like I used to. But never before a 5 overtime game. That's the longest hockey game I've ever been involved in my life. But it was fun. It was entertaining, and it was fun to watch. And remember, the Blue Jackets still did things to the Tampa Bay Lightning this year that they did to them last year. They fought them tooth and nail for 6 hours. And yes, they lost. And you know the other reason Tampa should have been celebrating as hard as they were last night? Because they know the Blue Jackets have come to play. They know it's not going to be easy. They know they might not win another game. That's why they were so happy. Blue Jackets have come ready to play, and they are playing their brand of hockey. Whether you like it, which you probably don't, or not, doesn't matter to them. They are who they are, and they know who they are. And they're pretty doggone good. Would you like to see more offensive output? Of course. Would you like to see a more consistent power play? Of course. You break this thing down, you watch the way they played last night, taking away the cross-ice passes, forcing Tampa to make an extra pass instead of taking a shot, blocking. They blocked I forget what the number is. So Tampa had like 88 shots and another 60-some shot attempts were blocked. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. So a great job turned in by the Blue Jackets. They'll try to do it again tomorrow afternoon. 3 o'clock is when the puck drops. And maybe we'll be done before 9. I'm not sure. As long as they win, it doesn't even matter to me how long it takes to get the job done. So, again, that's going to be at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Well, today is Wednesday. It's August the 12th. And Jody Shelley and I get together on Wednesday evenings and bring you the Inside Edge on the flagship station of the Blue Jackets radio network, 97.1 The Fan in Columbus. So we'll talk all about what happened last night, 5 overtime game. We'll talk about who's hot, who's not. Maybe have a guest on the show, and I say maybe because guys might be sleeping through the entire day and into the next day. I'm not sure. We'll do what we can do when it comes to that. I might be sleeping through this evening and until tomorrow, but probably wouldn't be a good career move if I do that. So I guess I won't. I guess I'll get my rest and be ready to go, as Tord says. But anyway, the Inside Edge, 7 o'clock on the flagship station of the Blue Jackets radio network, 97.1 The Fan in Columbus. You can get it through the Blue Jackets app as well. Just scroll down to where it says Listen Live. Some people get confused with the headphones up in the corner. That's for games. Scroll down, which you can do for games too. Listen Live, and you will find us. And if you missed the show, don't worry, because we will post it on the CBJ Radio SoundCloud page right after it's over. So you can go back and you can listen to it on demand. I think I've covered everything. I know I have, because I'm out of gas. I'm out of gas. I'm tired. By the way, a lot of nice tweets and online comments during the game last night. I appreciate it. I just want you to know that I do appreciate it very much. It means a lot to me. I don't mind playing at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I think it's a bigger radio audience, so I'm cool with that. So, but I did want to say thank you for all of the kind words. So the Inside Edge tonight at 7 o'clock on 97.1 The Fan. Tomorrow, pregame coverage starts at 2 o'clock on the Blue Jackets radio network, and the puck will drop at 3 o'clock for Game 2 in this best-of-7 Stanley Cup playoff quarterfinal series between the Blue Jackets and the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's going to do it for today's edition of CBJin30, presented by Telhio Credit Union. Until tonight and tomorrow, I'm Bob McElligott saying so long.